in your chairs. Breathe deeply in and out. Let the cares of the day melt away. Feel your body relax from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. A smooth, warm, gentle embrace of vibrational energy. Allow yourselves to continue to breathe deeply, gently, easily, in and out, in and out, in and out. And as you allow yourself to focus on the center of the holotope, remember that this is a reflective mirror of more of your being in myriad ways, lines of light and energy that come together to make up who you truly are. So as your lights begin to play and your music comes to the forefront, allow yourself to drift and dream and follow along with what we are about to share with you. Allow yourselves to continue to breathe gently and easily. Relax. And we begin to go on a journey together in the following way. Once upon a time, there was a land that was terrorized by a frightful monster. It would stomp around and roar a mighty roar, frightening all the inhabitants, making them run to their homes and lock their doors and windows for fear that they would be devoured by the terrifying beast. And this would happen every day. The monster would stomp through town, roaring, gnashing its sharp-pointed teeth, scaring the inhabitants who would run away. And after days and days and days upon days of this, one little child decided to follow the monster to see where it would go when it left the town, and to find out why the monster was so mean, so terrifying, so frightful, to discover what had made it that way, and perhaps to find a way to stop the monster so that her town, his town, could live in peace and no longer be afraid. And so, one time, after the monster had passed through town, roaring, gnashing its teeth, flashing its eyes, and scaring everyone, and then began to stomp down the trail back through the forest from whence it had come, the child followed the monster quietly, nimbly, hiding behind the trees, until the child saw the monster arrived at a cave in a mountainside, and the monster disappeared within that dark cave. The child tiptoed cautiously toward the cave, afraid to go into that darkness for fear that the child might be devoured by the monster. But suddenly, the child saw deep within the cave a small, bright light. And so the child, being very curious, very brave, decided to venture inside that cave. And as the child snuck further on little cat feet, deeper and deeper into that cave, the child finally came upon the den of the monster. And in that den, hiding behind a large boulder, the child witnessed the monster. But something was different. Something was strange. For the light was coming from inside the monster somehow, peeking out, pouring out through seams in the monster's scaly skin. And suddenly, the child witnessed that the monster was just a costume. And as the monster took the costume off, it was nothing more than a shining sphere of light. And the child marveled at this, for there was nothing to fear about the light. It was just a beautiful sight, powerful energy, vibrating, humming. And only when it donned the costume of the monster did it become a fearful thing. So the child, no longer afraid, strode up to the shining sphere of light. That was very surprised to see the child there, but also very pleased, for it could see itself reflected in the child's curious eyes. Because since there was no mirror in the cave, the sphere had not seen itself for a long time, but marveled at its brilliance in the reflection in the child's eyes. For it finally understood that this is how the child saw it. And the child no longer saw the monster, the suit of which lay crumpled on the cave floor. And the child spoke and said, "If this is what you truly are, underneath that frightful appearance, I now see your true self, for you are just beauty and energy and power and light. And the monster is just something that you've wrapped yourself in." "Why?" asked the child. And the sphere replied, "Because this is what the people in the village expect to see when this much power is presented to them. So I donned the suit to give them what they expect to see." "But you are beautiful," said the child. "Why not let them see that? If only they would," said the blinding light. "I believe," said the child, "that I can convince them to see you in a different light, and not as the frightful monster, if you would but just give me a chance to explain to the people of my village what you truly are underneath that frightful costume." The sphere relented and followed the child back down the path through the forest to the edge of the village. "Wait here," said the child. "I will be back." And so the child ventured forth back into the village, knocked upon the doors, calling the townspeople into the square, shouting, come out, there is nothing to fear. For I have vanquished the monster." The townspeople marveled at this, at how a child could have bested such a frightful beast. And they all asked, how were you capable of doing this? And the child replied, "For I saw the monster's true heart, and what you saw as the frightful beast was nothing but a skin, a costume, a reflection of the fear that you have been living within your hearts for so long. But that is not the true form of that being, for it is a beautiful, bright, shining light. It is power and resonance and harmony, and can be used and can be cloaked in so many other ways. And the child asked a member of the village who was very talented and very skilled at creating clothing and costumes, to weave a beautiful form, a beautiful appearance, a costume of unparalleled beauty. And the child took it and brought it back to the sphere at the edge of the forest and said, "Please, wear this instead. For you can wear many costumes, for you yourself are simply light and can wrap yourself and cloak yourself in any disguise whatsoever. The town is willing to receive you in this form, is willing to let go of the fear and understand the true nature of your being." And the sphere donned the costume, and it was a beautiful being, a radiant being, an angelic being of peace and love and light. For the inner light shone through its eyes, the eyes of the costume, and illuminated the path before them back to the village. And when all of the people saw the little girl approaching and the little boy approaching, the child with this being, they marveled at how such a transformation could take place. "But it is not such a mystery," said the child. "For the truth is that the light can take many forms, and it only reflected the fear that was already in your hearts. But if you give way to love, and give way to peace, and give way to joy, and allow these back in your life, then this shall be the reflection that this being shall show you until the end of your days. And the village can once again thrive and be at peace and joy and harmony." And the villagers did rejoice and did invite in this being, this beautiful being of light and form, and it lifted their hearts to the heavens. And from that day forward, there was peace in the village, in all who chose to live there. Go within to your inner child and see the truth that lies deep at the core and the heart of fear, for it is nothing but power, energy, and light. And it can take many forms and cloak itself in many guises. And if you just focus not on the fear reflection, but upon its inner strength, its inner power, the essence of its form, so too can you invite it to cloak itself in radiant raiment, in beautiful garment that reflects the joy in your hearts that you desire to feel, the peace, harmony, beauty, and love that you seek in your lives. And forever and ever, the shining light will wear that cloak. For it is only within the hearts of the villagers that give the light its choice to choose the radiant raiment or the fearful visage of the beast. For these are just illusions. These are just cloaks. And at its core is the true being, the being that can take many forms, the being that takes its cue from you. Open up, breathe into that new reality, and just feel the sensation anytime that monster raises its head, gnashes its teeth, stomps its feet, flashes its eyes. Remind the inner child that it sees the truth, that at its core is just this vibration of power and light, and that you can offer it the opportunity to transform into another guise, another cloak, another raiment of light, of beauty, of harmony and peace, so that you may live in joy in your village forevermore. Take a deep breath and make this story your story. Take another deep breath and make this path your path. And take another deep breath and make this light your light. Cloak it in the form that you prefer, that you choose to reflect throughout your lives. Be the village of peace. Be the village of joy. Be the village of love. The village of harmony. The village of infinite possibility. The shapeshifters that choose to know who they truly are and to reflect that in all aspects of your being. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and let it out. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and hold it, and hold it. And blow it out. And crystallize this story within your consciousness. Let it resonate in your psyche, in your heart, in your soul. Be at peace. Be at peace. Welcome home. Continue now to just breathe easily and deeply, knowing that that story is forever in your heart, forever in your mind, forever in your soul. And as your lights soften, as your music fades, allow yourselves to simply drift in the dream and know that the story is forever and shall never end. Be the story you wish to be. Relax, be at ease, and just float freely for a little while in the velvety embrace of all that is, knowing that you are cherished, nourished, indestructible, and that you are children of creation that see true to the heart of the matter. Live fully in that truth, in that story. Be that child. Be that child that sees true. Continue now to just float freely and gently. Drift and dream. Drift and dream. Drift and dream. And when you awaken, know that you have awakened into a new reality as a new you. Our deep appreciation, our deep gratitude, and our unconditional love to you all. Be at peace and sweet dreams. Welcome home.